All right, everybody, we are back for another edition of the Bearded Bandits, the non-bearded bandit, the best-looking hair in the industry, of the merchant processors. We are JadaPay, and this is our podcast where we're going to talk about all things business, merchant services related, and just nonsense from around the world. I am joined, as always, by Mitch. Go ahead and take it away.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of our podcast. I am one of the non-bearded members here. It cracks me up, Brian, every time you make that introduction because I don't see it happening, man. I tried it last week. I went up to Pennsylvania to see my mom. It was chilly. I went a week just to see what I could do. It's going to take me a while to get there, so I took it off.
That's
But
all right. That's all right.
maybe one day. But we're glad to have you guys back and appreciate you checking in and following our podcast as we continue to build and share knowledge and information on the industry about JadaPay. And let's get into it, man. This is great.
Let's do this. Today's ASMR is brought to you by Mountain Dew Zero. This is Baja Blast Tropical Lime, and this is your ASMR. There we go.
Good stuff. I think that comes in frozen, right? And doesn't like Taco Bell, I think, have that?
Yeah, and
Frozen?
it's even better then.
Yeah.
Zero sugar though, because I
Yeah.
got to watch the weight.
There
I've been
you go.
dropping. I've been doing good, man. I've been doing. I
Yeah.
did not go back carnivore.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out what the right thing to do is. So while I'm not knowing what I'm going to do, I decided just to do calorie counting.
Okay.
And so I'm just doing the calorie deficit or whatever. And I'm a big boy. I mean, I weigh 250. When I started this, I weighed 253. As of today, I'm actually down to 245.
Okay.
So it's only been about a week, but dropping. I shed quick, man. I shed for like the first month. I'll kick a bunch of these pounds, and then all of a sudden I'll stall and stagnate.
Okay.
But it's been interesting. I don't know what kind of diet I'm going to go on to. I just know right now I'm trying not to do processed foods, trying not to do a lot of sugars. Obviously, I say not processed, but that's most likely what that is. But
All right.
just mainly whole foods. I like the fruits, veggies, obviously the meats. I'm supposed to get like 155 grams of protein.
Yep.
I didn't have to do all this stuff when I was in the Army, man. They just fed us.
Right. My son, my youngest son is he's got a membership at a gym. He's been dedicated calories, his protein, his intake, and in such a short amount of time. I mean, he's already, lean bodied, athletic, but the muscle he's built on and just getting shredded and ripped. I guess they say what exercise is a little part of it, but the diet is like 80 or 90%. Just what you put in. So it's true. He's motivated me to get back into it. So I'm down about 4 pounds. Been back into the gym. I kind of slacked for a little bit, focused in on other things, but I'm there just making that routine. So
one thing I found out about gyms is they don't really ever close. They always wait for it to come back.
Yeah. There's this one gym. I heard it. I don't know how accurate or true it is. I think it was over in England or Europe or something where you get a free membership, and you have to punch in, use your ID card whenever you go in there, and if you don't scan in for like 30 workouts or something like that, then you're charged like $100 or $200 a month, whatever membership is. So they want to encourage you. Show up. You keep showing up. We're not going to charge you. You're going to get your free membership. So they kind of use that as an incentive to get people committed, dedicated into a routine, and then those that don't, show up as many times as the contractual agreement says. That's how they're making their money.
I mean, that's brilliant marketing.
Yeah, a little interesting way to do it. So
yeah, this sure is, and that's a good segue into what we're talking about today, which is marketing and sales.
Yeah.
And we'll take that example. I mean, you take something like a gym that, I mean, people want to be there. They just, for a myriad of reasons, don't show up.
Yep.
And I will happily pay month after month after month and not show up. But oh my, if you are going to tell me that you're going to charge me, and I've heard of this before.
Yeah.
I've one of our other guys, Adam, was telling us he was a part of one of these gyms.
Yep.
And that was it. I mean, like you're free as long as you show up. It's free. But
Yeah.
the minute you don't show up, like they said, they have a certain amount of them. They're going to charge you whatever that fee is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane. That's a good way to stay top of mind and stay in front of the customer.
Yep.
If you had 100% of your patrons showing up, I mean, there's got to be an added service, obviously, there that draws them to spend money. But I still think doing whatever you can, getting as creative as you can
Yep.
to get people to come through the door is just brilliant to me.
Yep.
I mean, we don't just sell one item at JadaPay, so getting somebody in the door, it's worth the investment. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
marketing is.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to tell you real quick before we get into our podcast, another marketing idea that I saw years ago, small hometown in Ohio, a car dealership advertised free cars, or no, free cars with the purchase of a T-shirt. The T-shirts were $25,000 each, but they were making a play that they're giving away free cars, and the people that showed up for that was it was good. It was good. I don't remember all the small wording behind it, but that was the big ploy. People went in there. Oh, you got to buy a T-shirt. How much? 25,000, $30,000, 15, 10. It was good. It was good.
It's brilliant, and it brought people to the yard, right?
It
Like
did. Yep.
that's all that matters. As long as you're getting people to show up, give me the opportunity to close the deal. I don't have that opportunity if you don't show up. And something about business that I absolutely love, and we're going to talk about this a little bit today. I love sales, but I love marketing more. So my big thing is I like to create opportunities for other people to be successful. And when I can do something like that, and then I know I've got somebody on the other end that's capitalizing and capturing those leads, and doing the best they can with those leads, it makes me so happy because that's what we do here. That's my big role with the company is obviously generating opportunities, and so through my marketing efforts, and then Mitch is our national sales director. It's your job to go in and close these deals.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what I like is as far as closing the deal, I just love presenting what we have, our product and our service. And more times than not, the deal will close itself. When we're talking to a potential merchant and they ask, how do I get started? Where's the application? What do I do next? And they just ask for it. This really makes me feel good. One, that I'm communicating everything. They see the value in what we have, what we offer with our team, our 20-year, established company. And so for me to try to like quote unquote close the deal, I just share the information, and it's a good feeling when it's recognized because of what we have in place.
Yeah, and that's where you got to the point in your career where you're I call it the pinnacle, the peak. You're selling
Yeah,
something that is easy for you to sell because the product itself sells itself so long as you have the knowledge about the product.
absolutely. Yep.
When I first came into this industry, I didn't know hardly anything about it. And most people that come to merchant services do not know anything about it. It's an anomaly. It's one of those weird things that just there's a lot of people doing it, but there's not a lot of people talking about it. And so it doesn't get out in front of people enough. I just know from a story that I probably told on a previous podcast when I used to run a garage door company, and we had our credit card processing. And I know that I think it was authorized.net that I had, and I would be spending upwards of like 2 to 3 grand. I think my busiest month was 5 grand in fees.
Mm-hmm.
Fees. And I
Yeah.
don't want to spend that type of stuff. And I had no idea that there was something that I could do about that. That was the issue that I had as a business owner, because again, this is not a widely talked about thing. Think about the last time you saw a Square or a Stripe commercial on the TV. those are the same thing as what I had as a business owner. I just had the box, the outside of the box, the cookie cutter unit that's going to charge me everything that it needs to do to charge me, and I don't have any say in my processing. Well, the middleman that came in, JadaPay being one of them, if you want to call us that, we give the ability for merchants to be in control of how they do their processing. And so I think it's really fun for me that when we do this, and I started to learn more about the industry itself. Well, then from the marketing standpoint, then you got to think about who's your customer, and you're not marketing to just one customer. We don't JadaPay. We're kind of a unique operation because we have a high percentage of Plains community business owners.
Yeah.
And these are business owners that span from either the Amish community, Mennonite community, or just all across the High Plains, which again is a nationwide thing. And it's these business owners I have to talk to in a very different way than I would talk to a veteran business owner.
Yep, and let me add to that. Not only do we have the different business owners, the different types of business owners, you've got several different businesses within those business owners. You've got your greenhouses, your farmers markets, your retail shops, your thrift shops, your lumber yards, your auto, and that just puts a whole new just blanket around what else we need to understand, specialize in, be educated on, and continue to grow with, each week, month, and year with the evolving industry. So it's not just a business owner type; it's the businesses within that are different from a business owner, say, that's not in the Plains community, that does the auto, that does retail. There are different needs, different setups, different requirements. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is, and it's and you brought up a really good point. Just because you're marketing in, for example, in this scenario in the Plains community, doesn't mean that the lumber yard or the greenhouse or the auto mechanic is gonna hit with that same ad.
Right.
So now what you're trying to do is you're trying to capture a lot of attention, or the most amount of attention for the least amount of money. I mean, that's the name of the game when it comes to marketing and advertising. Yeah. So we've done the way that we've done this is, I mean, I'll tell you guys this: it's by the book. There is a book on marketing, and you can go away from it all you want, but at the end of the day, it's all about what brings people to your shop for the least amount of money. They talk about that T-shirt idea from that auto dealership. They brought in how many people for this advertisement for this buy a T-shirt, get a free car type thing.
No, the place was packed. It was by my house. It was packed. It was packed.
So immediately a return on investment just because of awareness. Even and just so you guys know, everyone's all concerned about negative reviews. Any review is a good review. Obviously, you want to give 5-star service to every single person that you ever do business with. But think about the negative reviews that they probably got from that advertisement. I mean, there could have been a bunch of people, let's say 50, 60 people that were like, this is a 1-star. They tried to scam us. Well, they didn't, because they had fine print and all this stuff. But those negative reviews, all you're doing is you're saying, Google, look at this company. That's it. So what's going to happen the next time somebody types in, we're talking about bringing people in for the least amount of money. So print advertising, and just so everyone's aware, there is a difference between marketing and advertising. Just so all of us,
Brian, I don't know what the difference is. Please tell me the difference between the two.
We don't need to go. Well, that'll be another topic. Just know that advertising is basically, on a very rudimentary standpoint, it is what the picture is in front of that human that is making them call that number, scan the QR code. That's advertising. Or it's the radio show that the guy is saying the script. That's advertising. It's all a part of a bigger marketing plan, but marketing is kind of your overarching business operation, if you will. Marketing encompasses a lot of the facets between from sales to advertising to SEO to digital. I mean, just social media. There's just so much that kind of goes into it, and people sometimes get those things kind of off. And I know that you used to still do sometimes moonlight as a product specialist, a print product specialist. Promotional items; those are advertisements.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they are also a part of a marketing plan because it's just name recognition. You know, you get to see those logos and stuff like that. But anytime that you spend money to have a logo or call to action or something like that, and it's to get somebody to take an action, that's a good advertisement. That's about the best way I can describe it. But from what we do here, so again, we got to find out who your customer is. And I'm talking to all you business owners out there. Know who your customer is, first off, and understand how can you market to them. We have a pretty cool spot out here, Mitch. It's I'm going to bring you to it. It's just a neat little spot. It's called the Brutal Poodle.
The Brutal Poodle.
Yep, it
Okay.
is the first only one I've ever been inside of. It is a heavy metal dinery.
Really?
Yes. And when I say heavy metal dinery, you walk in and it's heavy metal music the
Wow.
whole time. The food is fantastic. The atmosphere is great. The people are awesome. But
Mm-hmm.
the way that the Brutal Poodle markets is going to be a lot different from the Main Street Eatery where they're serving delicatessen sandwiches between 10 and 2, right? Like you're going to have a completely different group of people that you're kind of after.
Mm-hmm.
Now, no matter what, somebody walking up to a register and opening up a wallet and making a transaction is the ultimate goal, regardless of how they got there. Um, Even if it's not an area, because I've never been into heavy core metal.
Mm-hmm.
However, the experience is just different. And so
Right.
for me, it's like you got a customer, repeat customer. First off, your food's good, so it makes it better. But you got a repeat customer just because the atmosphere was unique,
Mm-hmm.
which is the sales process. But so again, marketing just kind of getting yourself as a business owner, figuring out, do I need to do digital marketing? And then what is that? What does that look like to you? Marketing doesn't necessarily mean opening up a whole bunch of advertisements and putting them into magazines or doing radio show things. There's a lot of things you can do with marketing. Anytime you're out and about, we talked about the advertisement side of things. If you have a wrapped vehicle, you spent money on that. That's an advertisement, but that's also a part of that bigger marketing plan. So
Mm-hmm.
as you're out and about driving around a wrapped vehicle, all you're doing is a thing called brand recognition. You're generating the ability for people to remember that item or that
Yeah.
thing. That's it. I just want to give you something to remember me by because I want you to actually come to my shop. And Mitch, you've done a lot of marketing over the years, just from the standpoint of the story that you talked about with the auto dealership,
Right.
which I'm going to talk about a roofing company after you go that did something very similar, very fun. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean the auto dealership, as we mentioned, had a lot of people there, and the one of the key things is even if people were just curious about getting a free car, they may not have been in the market at that particular time, but when that opportunity, whether it's a month from now, 6 months or a year, because of the marketing, that is just a big way to capture that attention for future. So it's not just closing the deal right then and there. It's planting that seed, getting the awareness out there for just whatever's meant to be. Because as well as I do, not every person that showed up was ready for a free car purchase that day. They're more intrigued by, can I get a free car? Is this just real? Is it accurate? But it got people in there. And you even mentioned about comments. So let's just say that people were getting negative comments. So then what does that do? It starts a conversation. And then that's still more awareness and just attention, to that business. So, like you said, as far as the comments, positive or negative, you want the positive ones, but the negative can also turn into just back and forth and more information, more understanding. and just bringing people aware of a company that maybe they didn't know that it existed, at the time.
Yeah. I mean, it did. It filled, like you said, it filled the dealership.
Yep.
It filled the
And I'll,
seats.
yep. And I'll tell you today, there's a sandwich shop around the corner from our office, probably about a mile and a half away. I went there today because whenever I go out, I always try to use local mom and pop shops because I want to support the local community. And I also want to put myself in an atmosphere of business owners that I could potentially start a conversation on merchant services. The best businesses are the mom and pop. I don't want to, you can't sell merchant services to, corporate and chains. It just, that's a whole other thing. So I make it a point to go to new businesses as much as I can. I went into this sandwich place today. It was phenomenal. It was some of the best service. The food was incredible. And then the different type of food that they had the hard crusted bread, the soft, they do catering for office stuff. And we do events here at the office. And I guess going back to your marketing, I was not aware of them. And I'm within about a 1 mile, radius of where they're located. I don't know if they advertise, if they market. I've never heard of them, but I'm going to go back. They've got a loyal customer in me for sure. And I talked to him and the son. They have two different businesses on merchant services, and both of them are interested in statement analysis. And one of the whole reasons why I went to a new place is just to create that relationship with local business owners that could potentially lead to something down the road. And I don't know how much advertising they did or don't do, but 3 years, I didn't know they were there. They're phenomenal. You can have the best product. You don't advertise and market it. Nobody knows.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I mean, that's the name of the game, man. And you got a good sandwich shop that you discovered because you were actually prospecting. And short of that
Yeah.
prospecting, you
Yep.
may never have had that great lunch.
No, you can't even see them in this plaza. They're tucked away. The signage, I understand with the city they're limited, but that was it. It was they figured out how to do very well what they do. It was really good. But and then take it over to customer service as far as merchant services, restaurants or retail. Just the interaction, the rapport that they gave was just you want to go back. You want to support that local business. They were the nicest people that you could ask for to own a restaurant. When you go into a place and marketing and advertising, it's just selling yourself. Just be that business that people want to go back to. And they did a very well job. And it wasn't fake. They genuinely loved their shop. They love what they did. They love talking about it and just love sharing just what they can do for catering and sandwiches and this. And it was neat. I had to leave because I had a work commitment, but I love the conversation with them and just talking to local business owners. It's a good experience.
That's good. And from the credit card processing side is mainly for the agents.
Mhm.
If you're out there trying to shovel credit card processing, and as a door-to-door agent, are you doing any marketing for yourself, or are you relying on either the company, or are you just relying on your own 2 feet?
The people that I found to be most successful are the ones that are the agents that are doing the marketing on their own. Because it's hard, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it'd be hard for a company to do marketing because we have agents all over the country. There are different, seasons, different types of businesses. South Florida, there's a business here every 20 feet. You go out to the Midwest, where I go up there by, our office and train other agents. You've got to drive several miles just to see the next business, just to see the next business. So the quantity of businesses and stuff. So I would say definitely it's more on the agent because they understand their area. They understand the consumers, in that area. They understand the competition if there is any, and I think it needs to be geared according to what that agent feels.
I would agree, and also having the ability to think about this: is every agent a graphic designer?
Hmm.
Yeah, Canva's great. Canva makes anybody feel like they're a professional graphic designer.
Yeah.
But even Canva is just a stepping stone for any true graphic designer. And
Hmm.
so the cool thing, one thing that I love about JadaPay and about what we do for our agents is, and not enough of our agents take advantage of this, so I'm calling you guys out as well, because do it. We have a team that we can develop and build landing pages. We can develop and build marketing material, leave behinds. We do have a lot of experience in the actual how to deliver the message. And this is kind of like the pinnacle of what I wanted to really talk about from the marketing segment is this is all about storytelling. And if you have a good story to tell, then people will listen. Well, let's just face the facts. Merchant processing is not necessarily a good story. So now what you have to do is you have to turn this into a good story. You have to make the story be something that people want to hear. You can identify the gaps, you can identify the pitfalls and focus on the fees, or you can have a positive approach and focus on the easeability and the use for the user. There's just so many different ways to go about this stuff, and this all goes into the sales piece of the puzzle. But from an independent agent, if you're out there and you're looking for a shop, just know that with JadaPay, what we do is what we have the ability to do is we create custom marketing material
Hmm.
for you, depending on, and we make it with the knowledge of your area.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times Mitch and I have been on the phone developing a leave behind an ad for the plumbers, something,
Vape shops,
the
the
baby,
liquor
yeah,
stores. Yep. And it's all different. And I found that the agents on our team that seem to have the most success are those that get the leave behinds. They specifically try to target a particular niche or industry, and we create the advertising with your expertise based on that. And that's what really helps jumpstart them and keep them consistent, and that their book of business just constantly growing. Because in addition to the marketing and the advertising, what we create specific for them, then the agents, whether they're ours or other agents, they're then learning a particular industry. You learn to talk the language, you can anticipate the needs, potential problems they're facing, what potential problems they may have in the future because you understand that space. And that's what separates us a lot from the banks or these processing companies that just do cookie cutter programs. The business I was talking to today, the sandwich shop, they had two different businesses. One was an auto tint shop, and then the restaurant. Both of them were sold product and items from the bank that they didn't really need, that didn't fit their particular niche or industry. And we had a conversation and just learning. I can't tell you how many merchants I will speak to, and I'll sign up as a JadaPay clients, and I will talk to them with what they're doing, how they're set up, and just straight rate equipment you don't need. They're renting, paying for fees that just aren't applicable to that business, for apps and programs that business is never going to use because somebody doesn't really know what they're doing. It's a cookie cutter sell. This is it, and that's it. And a lot of business owners, when they open that new business account, when they're in their bank to open the new business account, then, oh, do you need merchant services? Let us put you over here. And the person that they sign up with at the bank for merchant services doesn't do that full evaluation. They don't go to the business. They don't learn about the business. Oh, here's this, sign it, and we'll get you started. And then it's good for us. We acquire a lot of that business, but they don't do the homework and customize a program like JadaPay does, like we do, or what a business deserves.
yeah. I mean, so we're getting into the sales piece of the puzzle here, and this is what I love is we don't sell you more than you need.
Right.
We don't benefit from giving you all or making you have to pay for all these different services that Clover has or whatever. There's no benefit to us. In fact, it's a negative thing for you. So,
Hmm.
um, I mean, that's a great point. That's something that we obviously we pride ourselves in. We don't pass along a lot of the fees. There's a lot of things that we do that is very much so against the grain. And so
Hmm.
the final point that I'm going to make on marketing is whenever you're creating that advertisement and you're creating whatever it is to get people to draw them their attention in, I mean, come buy a T-shirt, get a free car. The word "free's" there. There's a roofing company that made a lot of money off of roofing companies work contingencies with insurance companies. So There's a lot of claims and stuff that goes on behind the scenes. So they need homeowners to basically just sign a contract for the contractor to talk to the insurance company, and they do a lot of the communications that way. But what they did was get a free AR-15 for every roof. Okay, well, I mean, I did the math. I mean, I know I'm pretty well versed in what the roofing company is. Every company deserves to make a profit, just so everyone is aware. It's okay. It's okay for you to be valued, your time and stuff like that. So, but this can clearly show you how much value a lead is. So they were willing to pay. I mean, an AR-15 is going to cost you, back whenever this was happening, probably around $800-900. So they were willing to pay $800-900 per customer acquisition. Every customer matters, and you got to figure out what that cost per customer acquisition is going to look like. And this is the final piece of what marketing is making sure that your dollars make sense. Because if they don't, then you don't have a company. And so your customer acquisition and understanding what the value is and saying, hey, for every single restaurant we sign up, that customer acquisition rate is this. So I know moving forward, if I want to generate 100 more restaurant customers, I know that if I spend X amount of dollars, it's going to go ahead and equate to those customers just on sheer data. So that's kind of like a mapping thing that I'm going to encourage you all to do. It's that know your customer, and go back to the very first thing I said. If you're not taking demographics of your customers, and I'm not saying like race and ethnicity and stuff like that, just general form stuff like neighborhoods, where you're getting a lot of customers from, maybe in a business district, or is it from these strip malls or these mom and pops that you're working with? Are they telling each other about you? Like, look at all the things that are happening around you. You need to write all that stuff down, put it into a CRM, so you can capture the best way to go ahead and understand your customer acquisition, but also how you're gonna attack it to get new customers. Because in merchant processing, we don't benefit from just sitting here doing nothing. We don't provide you a sandwich. You can't come to me and buy, chips and drinks like you can a restaurant. A restaurant may not have to do as much marketing as we would, just because you know that at the end of the day, if you want food, you're going to go find a place to eat, or Google it or whatever it is. But for us, Googling payment processing is not the easiest thing in the world to get ranked for. And it's what is that customer saying? So just take full advantage, take some time during the holiday season. I know some of you guys get real slow during this time. Take advantage of it and start kind of reflecting on the year, reflect on what you were doing for your customers, what new customers you got, see where you got them from. And then again, marketing there's a lot of things that go into it, and we'll jump into the many different things that you can do from a digital marketing standpoint. But we'll finish with content creation. At the end of the day, create geographically targeted content and put it out there on social media, because at the end, that is free. Time is not. I get that. I understand that completely. So your time to do that is fine. You're doing that for yourself, but the platforms are free, and they have them geographically targeted already. So it's already a step above. And if you're not out there doing that type of stuff, then you're not going to be a part of the new generation of marketing, which is going to be AI marketing, generative marketing, which is already starting to surpass a lot of the Google stuff. Just today, actually, I downloaded my Atlas search bar, which is ChatGPT's version of search. So that's coming. That's here. Just know that. So that's the marketing side. So again, I like to set the pitch up. I want you to hit a home run. Mitch is the guy. He comes in and he closes these deals after I've made the phones ring. So take me through the sales process, or whatever it is you wanted to talk about today.
So as far as let's hit a couple different things. One is closing the deal, getting that deal. So a lot of that comes with one, the the trust initially. There you've got to get that trust, because they're not going to do business if they don't, you know, uh, trust you. So you got to get the trust. Obviously, you have to be educated on the product and the material, and you have to believe in it. I don't try to approach people to try to close the sale. My goal when I approach people is just to start a conversation, try to figure out what's working for them, what's not working for them, what they're happy with, what they're not happy with, and just listen. You ask some questions about, and one of my favorite questions is, I'll ask them, if this is a perfect world, what would you like within a merchant processor? And I don't like to talk negative about other processing companies, so I try to word things in a different way, instead of being like, "Hey, I know you're with so and so. What don't you like about them? What gets you upset? What gets you angry? What?" I just ask them, with your current situation, what would you like to see improvements on? It's a bit more of a positive, and I'll, I just listen, and whatever their pain points are, I then understand them, so I can then share our solutions and present them what we're able to do, what makes us different. I don't say we're better because this. I'm like, understand this is a situation here now, but what we do is this. I never, talk negative about other, processing companies, because I just not how I am. Another
I
thing
like
is
that.
be
I
honest.
like that a lot. I mean, I think there's a lot of companies out there that it's really easy to just put down your competition.
Hmm.
It's
Yep.
easy to do that, but
Yep.
that's not the name of the game
Yeah,
for us.
exactly. And just be honest. Don't promise something that you can't deliver. I had Friday, this is Monday, yes, on Friday, a really big merchant approached me for a statement analysis. They weren't happy with a couple things, and I was given the opportunity for a conversation to run some numbers. And this is a merchant that does almost $400,000 a month in volume. So I looked at their merchant statement, and I told them, I'm like, you're on a phenomenal program. If you were my family member, I would tell you the exact same thing. I said, we can save you a little bit, but with you paying, eight, $9,000 a month in merchant fees, or, 10,000, depending on the month I was looking at, I said, the savings is going to be minimal. It's not going to be that impactful. But what I can do for you is this, based on what you shared. And I looked at the pain points, and there's three or four pain points that he had. He couldn't get a hold of the processor, couldn't get a hold of the agent, he couldn't get a phone call back. He was having connection issues because the equipment was bad. I'm like, I can replace everything at no cost. I'll be happy to take care of you. You've got my direct cell phone number. We have a team. I've been with my company for many, many years. I'm our national sales director. I'm not going anywhere. So I sold them on the pain points, and he told me, he said, Mitch, I really appreciate that you were honest on the rate, because I have had this shop, and you're one of the only people, one or two people said I'm on a really good rate. A couple other people said that, oh, I can save you all this money. Your rate is horrible. And he knew enough to know that his rate was not horrible. His overall effective rate was 2.09%. So it's like right around, 2.1%. And that's a phenomenal rate. Not a lot of room to work. But because I was honest, today's what, the third. He wanted me to call him this Thursday. I think it was the 6th. I've got my computer, because he said, I'll probably be ready to move forward. I'm just going to let my business partner know. And because of the honesty. So I guess what I'm going to do is just, be honest. Don't try to deliver or say you can deliver something that you can't. Because when they run the numbers, they're going to see it and they're going to know. And then that's going to cause more problems with negative reviews, negative word of mouth. You're not going to get the respect from that business owner. And if you as an agent get tarnished in the industry, that's there. It's really hard to come back from. So just be honest up front, and just close the deals that you can with the honest relationship that you're able to put in place. And one of the big things when it comes to closing deals, I see a lot of agents that are newer. Of course, you want to build your book of business, your portfolio, as soon as possible, because it is a residual income source of income, and you want to be able to get your bills paid and get to that level. I've seen over the years agents from other companies that just promise something they can't deliver to get the sale, and then those clients leave that agent, so that agent's losing clients. They're not able to get the respect of the word of mouth from just taking care of people. So just honesty is huge. It's just big. And then when you close the deal, then there's the follow up, and this is what I'm going to teach Thursday for our next JadaPay team call, is all the follow up. It's not just closing the deal. It's letting the business owner know you're not just signing them up and forgetting about them. I want to know what kind of business they're doing. I want to understand, when I put that terminal in place, are they the type of business that's going to get customers that day, or do they do 1 or 2 transactions a week? I want to call them in a few hours, check in on them. Or, with our platform, we can see if they've made any sales. I can look, I can monitor new businesses. I can see that they made a few sales. So a couple hours later, I'll give them a call. Hey, this is Mitch. I saw you made a couple sales. I just wanted to see how that went for you. If you had any questions, did you understand the process and the equipment, and just be hands-on. And then I'll call them like 3 or 4 more days after that, and I'll do a check-in as well. And then maybe a week and a half later, and let them know that I'm there for them every step of the way. I had one restaurant, Brian, when you guys were down in town, one of the local diners, we went out to breakfast. That diner that I signed up are very busy. They do thousands of transactions per month. And as soon as I put that terminal there, they had a full restaurant. So I made it a point in my schedule. I sat at a booth right by the cash register for about a 4 or 5 hour block, from about 8 to about 1 or 2 in the afternoon. I had my computer, I'm working, because with all these people coming in and just utilizing this business, it's new technology. I didn't want the hostess or the person working that machine to have any glitches. And there were several times where they didn't know how to do something, or they forgot how to do something, and they had questions. Maybe it was entering a tip, or how to do a duplicate receipt if the machine timed out. So I spent hours there with my merchants. I went above and beyond for that customer, as I do all my customers, if there's that need. And
Yeah,
that's important.
it is, man. Being honest and following through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, I can keep talking, man. So I'm sorry. I have a lot of passion for what I do, and I want to be the best at this business and who I am as part of our team. I want to do very well, and I want my customers to know that. And that's a big thing, is they pick up. If you're just trying to close and sell somebody, they're gonna pick up on it. I'm in sales. Brian, you're in sales. You probably like me. If I'm talking to somebody, I can see when they don't care about me, they're just trying to push for the close. I recognize some of the questions, the strategies. This one person at a car dealership tried to do the silent close on me. So he does the presentation, puts his pen down, and the silent close is usually the first person that talks loses, So I'm sitting there, I'm not saying a word. He's not saying a word. I know what he's trying to do. So like 5 minutes in, I just start cracking up. I'm like, I know what you're trying to do. And you're like, well, on a scale from 1 to 10, how close are you? And just don't sell me. Let me know what you have. And if I'm ready, my approach, maybe I lose sales this way. I don't know, but I have just a soft approach for the sale. If they don't prompt for it, I'll ask them, what's the timeline that you're looking to maybe get started? Are you trying to get set up, sooner than later with your business plan? And I'll just casually go about it. And if you don't push for the sale and seem desperate, that's gotten me a lot more success. And at the end of the day, if somebody's not comfortable or not happy, I'll try to figure out why they're not comfortable and try to make them comfortable. But if you're not ready, I'm not going to push it and make you uncomfortable. When the time is right, I'll have people come back to me a week later, a month, 3 or 6 months later. And, hey, I remember what we talked about. I'm ready to move forward. Just because I didn't give them that pressure.
That's right. And just, we talk about this a lot too. There's so many of those sales engagements that go without asking for the sale.
Mm-hmm.
What you're doing is asking for the sale. You're just doing it in a different way. You're doing it in a way that both you and I resonate to.
Yep.
It's a passive way to say, look, I hear what you've got. I have a solution for you. Mm-hmm. And when you're ready, I'll be here and available.
Absolutely. And I'll throw this out there for other agents that may be struggling with hearing like, I'm not ready or I need to think about it. And I shared this on our team calls a lot, is one of the biggest questions I ask is when I'm looking to maybe try to get the sale and feel them out and I hear I need to think about it. So there's two action steps I have. One is I want to be able to call them and just do a follow-up. So I'll ask them, I'm like, are you okay if I call you, say, in a week from now, just to keep that FaceTime and that relationship with you, just to check in with you? And more times than not, they'll be like, yeah, absolutely. So then my second question, and this is what's really helped me, this is really underlines what their hesitation is I will ask them, so I'm prepared when I call you next week. What is it, if I may ask, that you want to think about so I can get the material and be ready to share with you some of your, concerns? And then more times than not, they will say, well, I need to see if I'm in a contract. I need to understand what PCI compliance is, or whatever that hesitation is. So then I asked somebody, I'm like, all right, I understand about your contract. If you'd like me to put a set of eyes on it and look at it with you in case you don't understand some of the verbiage or how it's written, let me know. I'll be happy to, show you and share with you what I see. Oh, you can do that for me? Great. But if you ask them the question, what is it that you want to think about so I can be prepared? They really come clean and just admit what it is that they're thinking about. Sometimes they have a business partner, and I wouldn't expect a business to sign up with merchant services if they have a business partner. I would expect them to discuss it with their business partner. But if I ask them and they make it clear I have a business partner, I'd like to speak to them and just let them know the route that I'm considering. Now I know. So then my follow-up will be like, you know what, if you'd like to set up a time with the three of us, I'll be happy to come in or over the phone or prepare any material so your business partner can really understand a full recap of what I shared with you today. And a lot of times, like, you know what, that would be great. Let's try to coordinate our schedules where the three of us can get together. If you wouldn't mind coming back in, I'm like, no, not at all. That's what I'm here. I got you. And then that's another way. So once they share with you, then you can look at how to pivot and then make them comfortable and understand what that objection may be. And that's been huge for me.
So when you first got started in the industry, your first customers had to be people that you frequented already,
Yep.
family, friends, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
kind of walk me through what that looked like.
Yeah, great question. So what I tell people, agents, they'll reach out to me if they're on my team, and even if they're not part of the JadaPay, I just love helping people, because when people recognize that you're there to help, it just builds credibility, and then we can get them and start working together. But my plan of action with any new agent I talk to is make two lists. One list of every friend and family member that you personally know very well, that your friends and family that own a business, because as you talk to them about merchant services, a lot of agents are new. There's going to be a lot of questions that you're not going to understand the answers to because you haven't been faced with them yet. So if you start with your friends and family members, as you get these questions, they're going to be more forgiving. They're going to be understanding that you're new in the industry. You may not know that answer to that question right then and there, but you're going to get it. They'll work with you and they'll be understanding. So then once you exhaust all your friends and families that have businesses, hopefully you can sign some up or at least get knowledge. Then your second list is make a list of every business that you frequent on a regular basis that may recognize you if you walk in. You may not have a good buddy relationship with them, but I know that when I walk in to get my hair done, or if I walk in to get my clothes dry cleaned, these are people that I'm a regular customer, that if I then approach them for a conversation on their merchant services, I might be able to get that conversation started. So then when you're talking to people that you're not as comfortable with as you are as your friend or family, you're educating yourself within the merchant industry. You're going to get some questions that you've already learned when you go to that next level of people that you're not as close to, but you can get the rapport started with because they recognize you. Then once you've exhausted those lists, then when you go to networking events or if you go to door, you hopefully would have learned so much more about the industry and questions you didn't know until you were actually faced with them, to set you up for more knowledge of the industry when you start talking to people that you don't know. Because if you don't know the answer to something with somebody that you don't know, it's going to be a little bit harder to get them to trust you or feel comfortable with what it is that you're wanting to do for them. I remember one of the very first businesses, it was my son's preschool. years ago. And I said, yeah, I'm just getting started in this industry. They love me. They love me. They love my son. And I remember she said, come back to me in a year when you've been doing this for a while, and then we'll talk. And sure enough, 1 year later, I went back. That was the day that I earned her business. But there were things that I didn't know. I didn't start with my friends and family. And I had to learn. I had to learn. And that's kind of like what we talked about today. In the fall season, Brian, within the fourth quarter, a lot of merchant service sales are a little bit slower just because of the time of year. So take time as an agent to reinvest in yourself, stay up to date, study, have those touch points with your business owners that are already out there. Keep that FaceTime with them, give them give them a call, check in on them, see how they're doing. Or is anything changed? Do they need, paper? Do they make sure they just let them know that you're around, and invest in yourself, and just continue to learn. If you're not closing sales because of a slower season, take that time to just gain your knowledge, But it's hard to go after people and close them if you don't understand the business.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And my fear, not fear, but from selling to family and friends, because it becomes a real intimate conversation, because now you're looking at their processing, you're looking at their statements.
I've had people for 2 years tell me no because they didn't want me to know what they were processing. Just a friend for 2 years. I'm like, I know I can save you money. And they're like, well, I don't want you to know, how much money I'm doing in credit card. And I told them, I said, based on your business and my experience of your industry, I would almost guarantee you're between about 55 and 60,000 a month in merchant processing fee, or volume per month. Her mouth dropped to the floor. It's like, how did you know that? I'm like, I'm an expert at what I do. I know this. Now it's a matter of, your reaction told me, I know that I'm, on the mark with what you're doing per month. Now it's a matter of, okay, if you're at, let's just say $55,000, then I told them you're paying, about $1,600, $1,700 a month in fees, whatever. How did you know that? This is what I do. And then I told them, based again on your industry, my overall effective rate with the light customers I have in your space is about this. So if you know the number, you don't have to give me a statement. Just, do this math, subtract the two numbers. And without looking at a statement, that's approximately what I'll be able to do for you. And they're like, you know what? Okay, fine. You sold me. Let me go get a statement. And everything I said was accurate. But like you said, some people don't want you to know what they're doing. And you know what? I get that. I get that.
Yeah. And you don't need to compare yourself to anybody else, but that's what we do. We're humans.
Yeah.
And so we always, I don't want you to look at me differently just because you saw my merchant statement. And that doesn't mean that that's what I'm taking home. So don't think I'm rich all of a sudden just because it's I'm processing $55,000 a month. Because you got to think what goes into that $55,000. There's product, overhead, staff. I mean, everything. Yeah. That's. I mean, selling to family and friends. While, like you said, you make your list. But also understand that you may not get that business just because they don't want you to know.
And let me add this. I'm sorry, but for the last 45 minutes, I've been seeing JP staring at me. I just had to address that elephant, man. And I'm just like, I've been cracking up on the inside for 45 minutes. And then when you leaned in, getting them that close. That's great. That is great. I don't even remember what I was gonna say. Oh man, I totally lost that face in the camera just threw me off. But about
I had to bring it on. I had to bring it on.
Yeah, but family. I was gonna say, I don't even know what I was gonna say. I'm lost. That
We just know that between marketing and sales, you have to have both. What is your story? That's the marketing piece, and then how do you present that story? That's your sales piece. So get out there from a sales point of view. If you're new to sales, if you're comfortable talking with people, great. If you're not, well, the only way to get better at it is to practice. So just get out there and just start talking. I mean, just figure out an elevator pitch. You don't even have to create your own elevator pitches anymore. 10 years ago, you didn't have all this stuff. 5 years ago, you didn't have all this stuff. Now you got ChatGPT and all these other AI models to create your elevator pitches. So just go and just start saying stuff over and over and over. The thing is, at the end of the day, I mean, athletes, the professional athletes, the singers, all these people practice. You don't just get to the top of the mountaintop. It's everyone wants to be there, but nobody wants the journey. And the journey's tough, but do it because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, you're going to be like Mitch here. You're going to be good at what you do. You're going to be an expert in the industry. You're going to be so knowledgeable that you can just basically tell somebody, this is what I believe you're doing, and not even have any evidence in front of you, well, outside of the obvious. So, yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game, obviously, is sales 101, if you will. I mean, it's the salesman will inherit the earth. Like, that's no matter what. I love the trades, and you'll hear me talk about the trades in one of our next episodes, and getting people back into the trade world. But no matter what, if I put a hammer in your hands or I teach you how to talk to somebody, you will have no problems earning a business, earning an income for the rest
Yep.
of your life.
Yep. Yep. And let me throw this out here real quick before we head out. Is that talking about sales and starting with friends and family and businesses you already know. I've spent a lot of time training and working with new agents, or agents reach out to where they're like, I have a lot of business owners that are family, and I'm going to do well. And for reasons like we shared, it can get a little sensitive with family. Some care about the numbers, some don't. And that new agent will spend one day talking to their friends and family. They won't get a sale for whatever reason, and in their mind they think that, oh, that's a friend, it's a family, I'm gonna get the sale. And then if they don't get the sale, they get discouraged, and they stop without understanding what was the reason for not getting the sale. Or let's take it a step further. Let's say you're not talking about friends and family, that you're going door to door, and you go door to door for one day, you hit 10 or 15 businesses, you don't get a sale, and then they quit, they don't want to do it again. So then we got to break that down. And that could be like, one, what is your goal when you're walking in? Are you walking into a business that you don't know trying to get a sale? Or are you trying to start a conversation? If you try to start a conversation, that can lead to the sale. Don't just seem pushy. Oh, I got to get a sale. I do credit cards. Give me your statement. Just start a conversation. Be genuine and authentic with that conversation. That will lead to sales. And just don't get discouraged. I know that from the businesses I go to, that 51% of all my merchant accounts come from face-to-face, door-to-door sales. But I also know how many businesses I have to walk in and how many no's I got to get before I get that one sale. But there's nothing like face-to-face, door-to-door. But there's a little science behind it. You got to know how to do it. And at the end of the day, you're approaching business owners that aren't expecting you. So you got to take that in consideration. We can, if you want to talk about door to door another day, we can do a whole podcast on that. We can talk forever. But I guess I wanted to say, if you're an agent that's new, don't get discouraged. If you got there for a day or two, don't get discouraged. If you get those no's, that's part of the learning. Was it your approach? Is it what you were wearing? Is it your elevator pitch? Did you not have a leave behind? Agents will walk into businesses without a business card, and then they'll leave. They'd have no leave behind. No matter how good you are, they don't know how to get a hold of you. You're not going to get the sale. So don't get discouraged. Break down why you're getting the no's, correct it, and then you're going to start getting the yeses. It's figuring out that learning curve.
So I tell you what, we'll do we'll just turn this into a series.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about different avenues of marketing and advertising, and then we'll talk about the different types of sales. I know that you had a pre kind of thing that you wanted to talk about on this one, but we're not even going to be able to get into it, which is great because we got into the groove. So we'll turn this into a series. We'll come up with whatever that series looks like: door to door, cold calling, all that good stuff. And then we'll just talk about these over the next few weeks. So this will, for those of you that are watching, just know that in the next coming weeks, we're just going to continue down this pathway. We might take a little bit of a break next week from this topic and actually talk more about the veteran population. Mitch, myself, and JP, we're all vets. We're all going to be together next week, so it might be a good opportunity for us to throw something together and just have a little veteran dialogue just about what's going on in the veteran space. Yeah, good conversation, man. As always, I bring a little bit of a script, and as always, I never go off of it. So I'm very happy that we can talk about what we want to talk about because of the knowledge. I'm very happy that we can bring in this knowledge and give it to the space. My dream and everything is making other people successful. That's what I enjoy to do. I just love watching other people grow and be able to provide opportunities, give them the ability to create a better lifestyle. That's just I love it. I love giving people an opportunity to be whatever human you want to be. And we live in the freest nation in the world for that ability to be who you want to be. So I love it. Great conversation today. Why don't you close us out, Mitch, since you're the man, the myth, the magic man.
All right. You know what? Going on what you talked about the last 30 seconds, Zig Ziglar said he firmly believes you'll get anything out of life as long as you help a few others along the way. So Brian said he loves helping people. I love helping people. I will stop, sacrifice to help others, and it will come back to you. As far as our series that we talked about, how we're going to continue to build, if I were getting into this from the ground beginning with my knowledge, what I know, I encourage you guys to come back, check out what this series is about, because this is really going to set a path of where you want to be. And there's so much content that we're going to share that's going to allow you to skip over some mistakes that we see a lot of people make, that I've made. It's going to be a great series. So come back, check it out, and you're going to get some information that if you apply it, you will be successful. It's incredible content. So until next time, have a great week.
Yeah, as always. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.